WDAY Radio.
Is your vehicle ready for summer travel? Matthew Carlson here at Fix It Forward Auto Care. Our free 15-minute safety inspection can identify vehicle issues that may cause problems and breakdowns when you're on the road this summer travel season. Need tires? Our knowledgeable staff can find the right tire that fits both your needs and your budget. Be prepared to enjoy worry-free driving this summer when you have your vehicle serviced at Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. We're live in Baltic, South Dakota, just outside of Sioux Falls for Ag PhD Field Day. It is a chilly day down here.
Man, it is freezing.
It is.
Someone told me it was going to be hot and I should wear shorts, and I'm wishing I would have packed pants.
It was supposed
and a
to
sweater.
be. There was excessive heat warnings down here. I don't know, man.
Man, talk about a botched forecast, right?
Oof. Man, it's chilly.
Who's their weather people down here?
I don't know. They need new ones. That's all I know. But and you'd think at a big ag event like this that who would be the first person to be here? It would
be Bridgette.
And she's backing out on us.
I know. Way to be, Bridgette. Tell us what happened. Where are you? Let's play the game. Guess where Bridgette is.
That's right. I'm going to need my own theme song for Guess Where Bridgette Is today. And today, compliments of United Airlines, I am not in Baltic, South Dakota, as I anticipated. My flight was delayed due to a thunderstorm, which I think I'd know meteorologists who could fix that business for me. But no.
Yeah, you should have asked before you
was
flew.
Delayed. So I did not get to Sioux Falls last night, and I will now be, as I am currently, speeding past Wall, South Dakota, on my way across the state of South Dakota.
You're almost here then.
Yeah.
I'm almost there, and United
just in
said
time for the show to be done.
Exactly. They said we could let you fly, but it's not going to be for days. So I hope you guys are having a great time. I hope you're in the shade.
Yeah,
I wish I was in the sun. It's cold.
We are in the shade, and it's not helping. It's still there. At least there's a little breeze down here.
It's currently 96 degrees, heat index of 109.
It's beautiful.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
it's hotter here than it was
109.
yesterday in Fargo.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to say the least.
It's only one.
I know, right? Temperatures back at home today. They're going to top out a little chillier. Well, I can't even call it chillier.
I mean, you could.
Yeah, a few degrees cooler than yesterday with low 90s today.
It's currently 86 in Fargo,
Yeah.
heat index of 91.
Yeah, so the heat index won't be as torrid as yesterday. If you're out and about, just stay hydrated. Maybe a pop-up shower possible, but if you're looking to get your lawn watered or your garden, forget it. Most areas aren't going to see anything. And then heading into tonight, down into the low 60s, and we start to get a little relief tomorrow with a few more clouds and maybe a pop-up shower or two tomorrow with highs only in the low 80s. And then the weekend looks absolutely phenomenal. Highs around 80 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday. It looks like a dry, sunny weekend with light winds. Although as we head into Sunday night, we do have a chance for storms coming into the area, and the heat builds back in for next week. At least early part of next week, the heat builds back in. So.
Oh, yippee, something to look forward to because I'm not out here almost dying.
Yeah, this is air conditioning.
Drink,
weather.
hydrate.
Yeah.
Drink, hydrate, boys. But, okay, so the big question is, what am I missing? What's been going on this morning that I really should have been there for? Because I'm expecting the two of you to take lots of pictures and completely fill me in on all the cool stuff.
Well, Mike,
Dean found some really tall corn.
yeah, I mean, this stuff is like
It's like 12 feet tall.
I tried putting Justin on my shoulders, and we still didn't make it to the top of the corn.
You guys, that's normal corn. What are you talking about?
Dean thought it was ultra tall.
I said, that's ultra tall. Maybe I'm shrinking, and it just looks ultra tall.
Well, with the back issues and the discs compacting, how tall are you?
Now?
Well,
About 4'10".
4'10", so you're probably 4'8" now.
With the compression of the discs?
Yeah. And with me on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So,
There
for
goes
those
another
who've
inch or
never
two.
met Dean, for those who've never met Dean Wysocki in person, he's roughly the size of a garden gnome, and you can do that if you're in Baltic, South Dakota today. You could stop by and shake his hand and ask how the weather is down there in the corn.
Well, I'll tell you what, the corn sweat is real. You thought the dew points in Fargo were a little nasty yesterday when they hit yesterday? 73?
Yeah, I think I saw dew points before I left out south of Valley City at 78.
It's the dew point here in Baltic is 76 right now.
Oh, man.
That's some thick air.
Brutal,
And it's
boy.
probably higher than that because we're surrounded by corn here. So I bet you it's upper 70s at least.
That's definitely air you can wear.
Because we're getting hit with a decent breeze, but it is not doing a thing.
And there's people with
So you guys,
there's people with
Go
ice
ahead,
cream
Dan.
cones. I'm wanting to know where they're getting these ice cream cones.
Sure can,
I
yeah.
know where they're getting them from. It's South Dakota State University. Their dairy group brings ice cream, and this is their afternoon event. So you're going to want to do that. And if I'm not mistaken, there was also a little mini air show this morning.
I missed that.
There was a mini air show, and it's I thought the crowds might be a little less this year due to the heat, but no, that's not the case. That is not the case. Now, they might tally up at the end, maybe it will, but it doesn't look any less crowded than last year.
No, it's packed. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things going on here, Bridgette. First thing I ran over and did once I got off the old interstate this morning is run over to the Titan Machinery Case IH tent that they got set up, and we went and checked out all the different equipment and what you need from getting some field or getting some soil, ground, whatever it is, and plowing it, seeding it, fertilizing it, getting rid of those pesky weeds, and then eventually harvest. We went through all that different kind of equipment. I'm going to go run over to John Deere after this, and then we got a handful of other things going on here, a lot of exhibits, and I'm a little salty because there's some soybeans down here that are looking a lot better than ours.
Not the ones right across from us.
Those ones are definitely not doing better than ours.
Now, what about the ones over there?
Those ones are doing.
Oh, those are sunflowers.
Well, you see,
Never mind.
what those ones are doing, that's a show plot right there. That's a little show plot. So, of course, it gets a little extra treatment, watering every night, I bet.
Well, I don't know. Our beans in our field look pretty close to that over there.
They're doing really good.
Yeah.
They are, and I hope to get to our bean field. Maybe I'll stop there after I pick up my vehicle at the airport tonight, after I drop off this rental car. But I would tell you that I'm going to check for soybean aphids because there's a possibility we may see them. Where you guys are at, there have been reports of aphids out in the soybean field. They are also in west central Minnesota. We've had retailers who are spraying to control those aphids because the beneficials that Mother Nature provides haven't quite kept up yet. So we're going to have to do a little bit better job to help her out to make sure that our yields are not impacted by soybean aphids this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bridgette, while I was out there last week, or I don't even know how long, last week, 10 days ago, I can't tell because the heat's getting to my brain right now at 110, but I saw no signs of aphids. I wasn't specifically looking for them, but I didn't see any. I was down at ground level. I did make friends with a big old spider, though.
I don't think you made friends when you screamed like a girl and ran. I'm just saying.
I can't believe you said that on the radio.
Well, I'll tell you,
if you want to see me scream, you can watch our Here We Grow series on YouTube, Facebook. Just search Weather and Egg and Focus. Here We Grow. They each got their own separate playlist. We got 13 episodes out. Episode 14 comes out this Friday. And the next Friday after that, every single Friday we drop new episodes. So give them a check out from how we got our land to spraying them, planting them, and where we're at today.
So rainfall.
Man, 13 episodes. Wow, that's huge if we've had 13 episodes already, you guys.
And we haven't been
I wanted to
canceled
point
yet.
that
Can
out.
you believe it? We're doing something right.
Hey, pull up end on site. Let's go through some rainfall totals. Because there were some storms just southwest of the FM area. I believe areas around Leonard picked up over an inch of rain. Then there was another pocket up towards Fertile, Minnesota, which picked up about 6-7 of an inch of rain.
It's cold in Harvey.
Yeah,
it's 65.
Our friend M&M Weather, who often emails us.
Oh, MM. Double M.
He's
mad.
Down around Wahpeton, they only picked up about 1/10 of an inch, and we picked up.
That's better than the 300s he got last week, though.
He's better build a boat. He's going to need it.
He's going to need it. Yeah, let's see. Last 24-hour rainfall amounts here within the area. We got anywhere from about a penny to 2 pennies here in Fargo. Looks about just over 1/10 east of the river in Sabin. The winter chicken dinner, Leonard, a little over an inch of rain. Got a ½ inch of rain over by Fingal. Little over a 1/4 inch in Marion. Down far Southern Valley, Broughton got 0.22. And Campbell coming in at 0.07. Northern Valley, we got about a little just shy of a 3/4 inch, about 0.6 0.67 to 0.63 from Warren, Minnesota. And over by the Devils Lake Basin got missed by just a little bit, and even up in Inkster picked up a little over a quarter. Grand Forks at about 3 pennies.
Yeah, it's just not. Now, I was talking to somebody out here, Bridgette, and they said, so far so good. The western part of the Dakotas have been a little wetter than the eastern part of the Dakotas, which is kind of a flip-flop from most years. And we were talking about yields, and he's like, you know what? I think it's really going to be okay this year. We still need a little timely rain, but most of the rain, even though the areas that are dry, they've received timely rain.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, I don't see a lot of rain in the forecast.
At least widespread.
Yeah,
stuff.
Nothing widespread, and I mean, how's that going to affect things? If we just get these hit and miss areas of some areas of beneficial rain, then we just don't have any widespread, which is typical for summertime. But
Sure.
you think we're okay with the yields in most areas? I mean, in terms of
if you're not growing wheat in a cereal, you're probably doing just fine.
You're probably in better shape, but we're going to see a wheat crop right now, and our cereal crops are going to be short. Not a lot of straw coming off those fields because they just didn't grow that much as far as foliage before they tried to head out. I think our corn and soybeans, if you get rain at the right time, you'll hit an average yield. I don't think anyone's looking for a runaway this year, but we might be surprised. As Justin said in our most recent Here We Grow video, once you get that root structure to tap down, try to find some extra moisture, that's important. Although we don't
it's
have a lot
tapped down
there.
deep.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild, but it's not been perfect.
right.
Well, don't they say you'd rather farm on the drier side than the wetter side?
Most guys do, because then you don't have yield impacts that is holding you back because it's so dry, because it's so wet. And then also when you have wet like that, you wreck equipment because things get stuck and you have to pull them out, and that's messy.
Right on. Well, we're going to get our guest set up with us. That's going to be Will Linger. He's joining us at our next segment from Sound Agriculture. We got a bunch of things we're going to talk to him about. So if you got any questions, you want to join in on this conversation, or just ask us how our trip is down here in Baltic, or if you're down here as well, we'll tell you where we're located at. Give us a call, 701-293-9000. That's the Red Wing Shoes phone line. Or you can always reach us via email at weatherandag@flagfamily.com. Or you can find us live streaming each and every single day on YouTube, Facebook Live, as well as on Acres TV. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Boost your crop's health with Domark 230 ME and Badge SC fungicide exclusively from Gowan, USA. Domark's systematic action teams up with Badge's outstanding mixing properties for unbeaten disease control on sugar beets, dried edible beans, and canola. Experience the power of 2 different modes of action with Domark and Badge. Don't wait. Contact your local ag retailer and ask about Domark 230 ME and Badge SC. Always read and follow label directions from Gowan, USA.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Sunday at 6 a.m. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com. That's creativeplanning.com.
It's about tradition, values, and family ties. Pucklet Chevrolet GMC's tradition of giving back to our community remains a priority, and that's why we've partnered with many local nonprofit organizations and events. And our tradition of giving this community a fair and honest offer continues. Right now, you can save over $6,000 on select new Chevy Silverado 1500s. We're Pucklet Chevrolet GMC in Valley City. Tradition, values, and family ties.
See dealer for details.
Pet PetroServe July specials are hot, including Old Trapper 10 ounce $12.99, Gardetto's $1.19, Kellogg's Pringles Grab and Go 79 cents, Reese's Super King Size $1.89, LBD's Gummies Family Size Worms and Bears $5.99. At PetroServe, helping America fuel better.
Helping America fuel better. PetroServe USA.
Come to life with Caldera Spas and the hot tub stores of North Dakota. Discover a new way to hot tub with a daily ritual of a hot tub circuit therapy. Experience the comfort, design, and performance that only Caldera Spas can deliver. Welcome to wellness with a special offer, 0% financing. That's right, 0% financing. Come to life with Caldera Spas and the hot tub stores, 815 23rd Avenue East, located by Costco in West Fargo.
At Wimmer's Diamonds, we are going for the gold. Do you have old, well-worn gold jewelry that you no longer wear or enjoy? Wimmer's Diamonds is interested. Hi, Aaron Wimmer here. We'd like to invite you to bring in your old gold jewelry. Wimmer's will purchase it based on weight and offer cash value or credit on your account. Stop by our magnificent showroom today at 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Ripley's in Earhart has a great job opportunity for you. Ripley's is now hiring directional drill operators, backhoe operators, and plow operators. Your career opportunity is waiting in the utility construction, directional boring, fiber optic splicing, and fiber to the home industry. Apply online at ripleys-inc.com or call Ripley's for an immediate interview. 218-842-5322.
And welcome back to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, who's not hanging out with the crew very much today. I am scurrying
or
around
at all
South
lately.
Dakota while the two of them. Hey, sorry, there's a travel plan in place, and I gotta go.
Well, and you should know, Bridgette, that bad weather always follows you somehow, some way, every time.
Summer, winter, fall, spring.
Y'all need to know, next week as I travel across North Dakota, don't look for it to get better. Just a heads up for all of you out there listening.
Great.
So those two voices are Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Meteorologist Justin Storm. And we have with us a guest from Sound Ag. He's able to join us today, and that is Will Slinger. Will is the Field Sales Director. And Will, what's Sound Ag? I need a little background here to help people understand what it is that you do.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Bridgette, for the invite. Sound Agriculture is a startup, a company that's been around for about 10 years or so. And our first product that we brought to market is chemistry, so not a biological, that's foliar applied. And what it does is it helps activate the soil for the farmer. That activation we've measured results in about 25 pounds of nitrogen and 25 pounds of phos, as well as uptake of other minerals. So that's what we're providing folks that grow corn, soybeans, wheat, alfalfa, folks down south that grow cotton. I've seen a lot of benefit from our product.
So, Will, when you do that, how do you said that you're going to provide that 25 pounds of N, 25 pounds of phosphorus. How do you test that? How do people know that that's your true result? Because a lot of our farmers are data-driven. They want to know that the proof is in the pudding, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great question. So we've opened ourselves up to a lot of third-party trials. So specifically, we've seen what we've measured in the lab translates out into the field. And so specifically, our third-party partners have shown us in tissue sample that we're actually taking up more out of the soil, so we can measure plants that are deficient in certain micro and macronutrients. And then when source is applied, we can actually measure the change in uptake and then the win rate on that as well. So we can provide that on that side. Advanced Analytics also did a really great water quality study for us in Ohio and Indiana, where they measured the nitrate levels in their water. They got a bunch of sensors in their drain tiles that allow them to measure how much leaching actually occurred. And when our product was applied, we reduced nitrate levels at about 19% in those drain tiles. So, it's not our data; it's their data that we stand behind.
Yeah, a question for you, Will. Our audience is about split 50-50 ag and rural or urban. For those that aren't very familiar with farming, what does a boost in nitrogen and phosphorus mean? Why is that important to the crop?
Yeah, you bet. It's one of the key nutrients, two of the key nutrients that help the plant actually yield what it's supposed to. So every farmer that's out here and everyone who's not a farmer is reliant upon the yield that a farmer grows. And so we are in that life cycle or in that chain of helping the farmer actually produce the crops that we need to live, right, as a country and as a world.
So we need this boost for our soybean crop.
We might.
That would sound like a great plan.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's something that we, as well as many of your customers, will probably rely on, is that extra boost. And do you see that the products that you use, where's kind of your target market? You said corn, soybeans, and a few other crops. Are you expanding more into our neighborhood, the greater northern plains, or kind of what are you looking to do over the next couple of years?
Yeah, you bet. So we're focused a lot on expansion crops, so specifically like sugar beets and canola, some of the lentils and other beans, right, that folks maybe up in North Dakota would see more in a heavier crop rotation than, where I'm from, Omaha, that's got corn on corn on corn on corn on corn.
You see, I was just going to ask you, are there some crops that would benefit from this more than others, especially if you're going to do corn on corn, because corn is such a nutrient hog, it just pulls it just rips the soil apart, is what I've heard.
You bet. Yeah, we let the farmer really choose that as a ROI for them. That's what we're really driven by, is helping that farmer see his dollar expand to just a little bit more than what it was going to. And so specifically, their cost of production on both corn and beans, it kind of dictates where their mind's at as far as what they want to chase in terms of ROI with our product.
I got a fun one here. We had a pumpkin grower on a few weeks ago, and we were talking about giant pumpkins. Do you think that this could be like a secret ingredient to break some records in pumpkins?
Man, I sure hope so. I was just learning myself that a gentleman that I knew spent about $300 on a seed, one single seed.
Wow.
So that pumpkin contest is serious business.
Germinate?
Oh.
What was that? This year?
Baby,
that was this year.
That's what you do.
So we'll find out. We'll find out how big this pumpkin gets. $300.
We're gonna bring that person on the show.
Wow, man!
I know.
I'm taking a note of that.
Oh, I can't wait to find out where that person was. So you guys don't let Will leave without getting contact information. And so, Will, as you think about the product expansions that you're doing, what has been the most fun thing that you've been able to talk about with customers today with Sound Ag? If there's a question that people consistently ask you all day long in Baltic, South Dakota, what is it?
Yeah, that's great. I'll keep this answer short. There's a whole nother part of our company that does epigenetics, which is essentially gene tuning. So traditional CRISPR technology is gene editing. Takes a longer life cycle to get a product to field, maybe like 10 years. We have folks have PhDs in words I can barely pronounce that cut that down into about a third of the time. So really focused on helping folks get products that are more of what their appetite is all about. And so that's a really interesting thing that folks generally don't know about sound agriculture.
What would you say is one of the number one questions that you get from either potential customers or customers? What's one of those common big things that maybe someone doesn't quite get right off the bat that you want to just let everyone know?
Yeah, I mean, is this snake oil, right? A lot of folks are seeing a new product come to market. They've maybe been burned by things in the past. And so, really wanting to test our mettle when it comes to, is this product right for them and is it good? So we lead the market in a money-back guarantee, which is, pretty unique to our industry. A lot of folks will give you some extra product, but we'll actually give you your money back if you don't get a 1x ROI. So we like to go right at that concern, with saying, hey, your dollars are safe with us here at Sound Ag.
That's great. Well, if someone wants to get more information on this, or if they want to browse more about the company, where could they go to get any of that information, or any social media platforms?
Yeah, we're on all the socials, especially Facebook, and then we've got sound.ag is our website, and I'll be here at the show, and we'd love to have you guys come out.
Oh, right on. Well, appreciate it, Will. Thanks for coming out with us and
appreciate
talking about this. We're going to hit bottom of the hour. When we come back, we got another guest from Corteva. That's going to be John Verhelst. So stay tuned. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
Rev up your engines for Track Talk with Jason Berg, the ultimate racing radio show every Monday night at 6:30 on WDAY Radio. From the hottest drivers, latest racing news and analysis, to recaps of the best dirt track races in the region. All live from O'Kelly's Bar and Grill. If the dirt's flying, you can bet Jason Berg is covering it. Track Talk is brought to you in part by Buffalo River Speedway, Randall's Excavating, Line X, Lewis Electric, Aggressive Towing and Recovery, and WDAY Radio.
Thunder Road is open now with expanded hours for the summer. Go-karts, batting cages, bumper cars, 2 mini golf courses, and you've got to check out the renovated Thunder Road Arcade and Laser Tag Arena. Maximize those hours of extended daylight with hours of fun for the whole family at Thunder Road, where the action never stops.
Crank up your nerve, grab your get up and go. Ride the rolling thunder to a place called Thunder Road.
Next to the Flying J Travel Plaza off I-29.
You're invited to worship with us at Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo. We offer a 9 a.m. Sunday traditional service with communion where all are welcome to participate. If you can't worship with us in person, you can always watch live or later on our YouTube channel. Following worship, we have time for fellowship with coffee and donuts and light service projects like packing up food for our food pantry. For more information, go to olivet.org. Encounter Jesus, experience grace at Olivet Lutheran Church on the corner of 13th Avenue and South University Drive, Fargo.
Saracet client Joe.
7 years ago, I was in a serious accident and suffered life-altering injuries. I had continuous headaches, sensitivity to lights and noise, was dizzy, and had debilitating fatigue. I accepted this life, one of pain, depression, and loneliness, and then I heard of Saracet. After the third session, I woke up with hope. I'm pain-free, my mind is clear. I'm a recipient of a miracle. Thank you, Saracet.
Find out how Saracet can help you. 701-566-5231.
It's summer in a big way. So go big at Mall of America. Your summer adventure is on with a stay at Radisson Blu Mall of America, conveniently connected to the mall. Swim a little, spa a little, shop up to 500 stores, enjoy every kind of dining, and so much more. Nickelodeon Universe has live Paw Patrol shows. Then get creative with the youngest ones at Crayola Experience. So you can go big just by going to Mall of America. mallofamerica.com/summer.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. It's 1:34 this afternoon. Temperatures outside the FM Metro in the mid-80s, rising to the low 90s down here in Baltic, South Dakota, where we're broadcasting live from PhD Field Days, brought on by Hefty Seed Company. It's 96 with a heat index of 109, and it is only getting warmer. If you got any questions for the show, feel free to give us a call. Program phone numbers are 701-293-9000. That's the Red Wing Shoes phone line. Got another guest joining us here on the show today. That's John Verhelst from Corteva. And John, thanks for coming on the show with us. Tell me a little bit about Corteva.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having us here this afternoon. Corteva, U.S.-based crop inputs company. So you think seed, crop protection, seed treatment, et cetera. That's really the role in agriculture that we play, providing those three technologies to growers.
Right on.
And what makes your product better than some of the others that are out there?
One of the big pieces around Corteva is just our pipeline. So constant evolution, constant innovation. Just looking across, we're stationed directly across from our plot. We've got 6 different new products that we're going to bring out to growers, from seed to biologicals to wheat herbicides, corn herbicides, soybean herbicides. You think about just being better, right? You got to innovate to continue to chase that curve and be ahead of it. I think that's one thing we do really nicely at Corteva is deliver a pretty robust pipeline.
What's the biggest change you've seen in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years?
Scale and size. You think about the pace. So just the amount of time that folks dedicate to this craft and how fast things go. We saw that this spring, right? How fast that corn crop went in the ground, how fast they had to go apply herbicides, how fast they had to come back and get. Right now in the northern Red River Valley, we're dealing with aphid pressures and how quickly folks have to go to chase after that, and it's across a considerable amount of acres. There's, in the footprint that I cover, the Dakotas, Montana, there's a lot of spaces that weren't farmed that are being farmed now by bigger, certainly bigger entities, bigger farm sizes, and they've got to go quick. They need solutions that work to cover that type of ground.
Right. Well, tell me what the crop looks like in those areas. You said North Dakota, Montana, I believe you just mentioned. What's the crop looking like out there?
Yeah, I would say it's the best west. That's really.
I was talking with somebody earlier today. They said which is kind of a flip-flop on what it normally is.
Yeah, I was out in Glasgow, Montana, 2 weeks or the second week in June, and you look like you're in the Palouse, Washington.
Wow.
Winter wheat, green and waving, spring wheat looking beautiful, heading out. They've got a gorgeous crop sitting out there. They're obviously starting to dry up just like we are across the Red River Valley, and certainly down here you can see some of the corn starting to pineapple a little bit, and some of the crops starting to feel the heat of the last few days, certainly. So I would say overall, I think the crop looks okay.
But that's good. Yeah. What about anything weird that's been going on with the weather? Like we've had a few storms that have come through with some pretty decent-sized hail, and we had a few fields that took a 50% crop lost up by Mapleton to Castleton, somewhere in there, like 20 to 50% on some of those fields with hail damage. And we've had a few of these events pass through over the last couple weeks. Anything like that been happening out there? Or has it just kind of been like that Goldilocks, rainy, perfect temperature stuff?
Yeah, so you ask about interesting things. That Montana market, this is year 3 or 4 where it's grasshopper pressure, phenomenal grasshopper pressure. You start to see that actually. We were coming back from Billings through Dickinson. You could see out there you got 40 feet of a wheat crop that's mowed back to grasshoppers.
Oh, really?
Wow. So you certainly have some insect pressures from the grasshoppers out there. I mentioned we're seeing soybean aphids in the northern Red River Valley. We haven't had a, quote, bug run, as the industry calls it, in 4+ years of airplanes, ground rigs, you name it, rolling over acres for soybean aphids.
You think that would be attributed to last year's weather where it was really dry, and then we got into the winter and we got a big insulating snowpack across the state early on before it got really cold, so a lot of those pests really didn't die off through the cold?
Yeah, tremendous overwintering for some of these insects, right? So insulating is a perfect descriptor for it. And then we had nice, adequate moisture across much of the geography in the summer, or in the spring. So obviously lends itself to having an opportunity to pests thrive in decent environments, right? So now we're starting to hear of some spider mites starting to trickle in. So again, moisture brings the aphids. You get heat, brings on the mites. Something's always going on in this industry.
So, John, as you look at the questions you're getting today from folks as they're walking to the Corteva booth, what's something that they want to talk about the most? Is there a particular new product across your portfolio that they really want some hard facts and answers about?
Yeah, we're in eastern South Dakota where wheat is certainly not grown often. We're staring at a wheat field here, more predominant in eastern North Dakota than in eastern South Dakota here. But we've got a field of spring wheat here, and with it we've got a new product coming out in that space called Tolvera. We came with a stack, a few Bibles high of literature sheets, and those seem to be going pretty quick. So that's really the main one, Bridgette, is a good cereal herbicide discussion. Folks are looking for different options there to control broadleaf and grass weeds in wheat, and outside of wheat, we've got constant Enlist E3 discussions going on as well.
Wow. And that's exciting because Enlist E3 is a top of mind for a lot of people as they make that change in what they're doing in their practices in both corn and soybeans. So there's been a lot to think about. And mentioning corn, as Justin brought up, half of our audience is urban versus rural. And you used a term earlier about pineappling in the corn. Do you want to explain that? Because I'm already getting some messages on the backside saying, what does pineapple in corn mean?
Yeah, great question. Thanks for the background there, Bridgette. If you go to a grocery store, pick your favorite one, and you go pick up a pineapple, look at the leaves on the top there, right? They're starting to, they point up. They got a pretty heavy cuticle.
Mm-hmm.
When you drive around the countryside, typically that corn plant is, kind of open, leaves up to the sun. When it gets dry like this, you'll start to see that corn plant, what we industry slang, pineapple. Bring those leaves up, get a little waxier cuticle, kind of look a little grayish, if you will.
Okay.
So from the field or from the road, looking at the field, for folks who are looking to expand their ag knowledge on the road with their friends and looking to impress them, hey, that corn looks like it might be pineappling. You can add that to your repertoire.
That corn over there, I don't know if for the live stream if we'll be able to turn the camera or not. Is that corn looking good, or is it pineappling?
That corn's looking fantastic. We can't.
It's probably watered every day, though.
We can't quite see it here, but right diagonally from us, we planted some corn late for demonstration purposes.
Right.
So we wanted folks to be able to walk into that cornfield, see the weed control of what took place.
Mm-hmm.
So when we planted that corn crop late, it developed hardly any root system because it wasn't under a tremendous amount of stress. You go look at that very late planted corn. It's knee tall corn for demonstration purposes.
And this stuff is like 12 feet tall.
Yeah, it's tasseling, it's setting ears, pollination's pretty much wrapped up. If you go to the back there, you'll certainly see that smaller corn that doesn't have much of a root system to go and get moisture like these big 12-foot plants do.
It's pineapple.
It's pineapple.
Okay. We'll have to go check that out, get some pictures of that for...
Yeah, throw them up on the Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, absolutely, because, again, we're all about training and education for people, and John, I know that Corteva is as well. So as you think that through, what are some of the ways that folks could reach out to Corteva, whether they're at the show today or whether they want to do it afterwards? How would you like people to find you and learn more?
Yeah, certainly appreciate the question, Bridgette. We're on pretty much every social media platform you can get from a Corteva standpoint. Our landing, or Corteva.com, has got a number of different products across the United States. We're talking to growers across the U.S. here at the Ag PhD Field Day. They can go there, find more information on products. If they're curious more locally to get in contact with Corteva, work with your ag retailer. We work a lot through the ag retail channel, and with those sellers, there's certainly a ton of folks that can work with you there. We've also got Brevant seed corn business, so Brevant reps to help talk about corn and soybeans, or Pioneer business, so Pioneer corn and soybeans, canola. Plenty of folks out there in the countryside. If you're looking to learn a little bit more about Corteva outside the social or website world, we got some folks crawling around as resources as well.
Cool. What's something that you're working on, Corteva, moving forward? What's the direction you guys are taking?
Yeah, if you listen to our CEO have a conversation, it's about sustainability in agriculture, right? So not just from a science, well, it is science, but you think about sustainability, launching products that maintain labels, that when we launch innovation, it's out there in the marketplace. Its environmental footprint is great. We've won more green chemistry awards than any other basic manufacturer out there, so we're putting really good science to work to bring good solutions that have to be sustainable. That word's thrown around a lot. Biologicals is a footprint that a lot of folks are starting to get into, right? That's certainly a fairly sustainable place, and if biologicals play a key part in bringing agriculture forward. We talked about insect pressures in the northern Red River Valley. Could we help with a biological control option versus maybe a chemical control option in that space, right? So those are some of the things that we're focused on from a company standpoint, doing things a little differently now than what we had been in the past.
I want to ask you a question. This has come up in the past on the show where we've talked to a few drone operators and drone applications on fields. And I was just kind of thought about this when you mentioned, we're talking about the insect pressure out west, and there's some fields where you got, I think it was 40 feet, you said, where it's been carved into. What do you think the applications and drone aspects of spraying the perimeters of field with an insecticide versus the whole thing? Do you think that would be a application thing to where you just spray the first 20 feet or whatever and they start going in there and they're like, nope, I'm not going in there any further?
Yeah, drone application in general, I think it's certainly in its infancy in adoption right now, but it's increasing. I've had the chance to talk to 3 retailers in the past 2 weeks, all of which are buying and starting to play around a little bit for fungicide applications, insecticide applications, micronutrient applications. They're flying drones.
Even spot application.
Absolutely. Pastures. Think about spraying a thistle in a pasture, or a weedy patch versus loading up the 4-wheeler, bouncing all the way around there. You go and load up a drone, fly it, and make that application. We're sitting right next to our range and pasture folks here. Certainly a future utilization, I think, of that type of application, more precision application, spot application, to go take care of some of those issues where it can be feasible economically.
I see. Well, really appreciate it, John. Thanks for coming on the show with us. And one more time, where can people go to get more information about Corteva?
Yeah, Corteva.com is a great place to go and grab a bunch of product information. Or, again, if you have any field-related questions and you're planning on coming here to Ag PhD Field Day, we'll be right across from these guys here on the radio. So,
hey, right on. Well, really appreciate it, John. We're going to catch up with the American Ag Network, and then Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be back with another guest.
Hi, this is Congressman Kelly Armstrong. Navigating USDA disaster assistance programs available to farmers and ranchers can be frustrating. My team can provide information that makes accessing these resources easier. If you are having trouble obtaining them, please reach out by calling my office at 701-353-6665 or contacting me online at armstrong.house.gov. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
You can enjoy Jay's Smokin' Barbecue at Tailgaters. What a combo.
That's right. Whether you are inside or out on the patio enjoying great weather and an ice-cold beverage, you can get Jay's Smokin' Barbecue to eat.
Tailgaters is featuring carbless handcrafted vodka cocktails, and domestic pounders are also on special.
So go enjoy the Tailgaters patio and live music outside on Thursday night at 6:30.
This week, hear Retrolution at Tailgaters, corner of Main and University in downtown Fargo.
Mid-America Steel is looking for a full-time experienced truck driver. Hours are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. with overtime available. CDL and clean driving record required. Starting pay $25 to $26 per hour. Company paid 401k, 9 paid holidays. Company paid $25,250 term life insurance policy. Short-term disability, paid vacation, and safety boot and prescription safety glasses allowance. This is the job you've been looking for. Apply quickly as this position will go fast. Email resume to John, SIMO at midamsteel.com. Looking for more than just a job? How would you like to start and grow with a company that is family-oriented and offers great pay and benefits and room to grow your career? Plains Grain and Agronomy has immediate positions available for a precision ag service technician, general laborer, custom applicator, and a Class A truck driver at their locations in Enderlin, Marion, and Mott, North Dakota. Plains Grain and Agronomy looks forward to visiting with you. Apply online at plainsgrain.com.
Markets pulling back at midday. This is the American Ag Network. of Jesse Allen with this market update. We're joined now by Arlen Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX. Arlen, let's start with the grains. We were higher to start things off Thursday, seeing a bit of a pullback pretty much across the board in the grains and oilseeds around midday Thursday. It feels like maybe some consolidation type trade, a little bit of profit taking possibly. Is that how you kind of view the pullback mid-session here today?
Yeah, we did see some overall strength overnight, and that was, to a great extent, it was with the heat building into the Midwest, combined with the fact that we had another missile attack on port infrastructure at Odessa in Ukraine overnight. But it was just 2 missiles. It wasn't an outright, all-out attack, and so its impact was somewhat limited. And as we went through the day, we saw soybeans start to see some profit taking after reaching some historically high levels for the August contract, up around $15.80 per bushel, getting closer to that $16 mark, and farmer selling increasing, speculative profit taking starting to pull prices back. We're seeing an improved weather outlook for the month of August once we get past this heat dome that's currently affecting the markets. We did see some strength continue in Kansas City and Minneapolis, largely because this current heat and dryness is continuing to have a negative impact on the spring wheat crop in the northern plains as well as in the Canadian prairies, and so that's kind of supporting the hard wheat markets.
Great thoughts there. We appreciate the time and analysis. Arlen Suderman, Chief Commodities Economist at StoneX. Outside markets, crude oil up $1.06 a barrel, 79.84. The Dow Jones is up 17 points. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. So very glad you're joining us. Maybe you're in someplace cool and nice and chilled, perhaps. Meanwhile, myself, Bridgette Readel, I'm just trucking across South Dakota in an air-conditioned car while my teammates are really taking one for the team today at Ag PhD Field Day because it's hot. So, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, I know it's kind of warm, but you brought in a cool guest. How does that sound?
Wow, that's a good introduction.
So I've known Craig Hansen for a little while. Craig's with BASF, and Craig is joining us today. How are you?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. It's not the heat, right? It's the other things, but actually I think it is the heat today. So it is.
No way around it today.
So it sounds like you're staying cool, so that's good.
Oh, absolutely going to try. So, Craig, tell us about what you're doing at Ag PhD's Field Day today. What's the highlight from BASF?
For me, it's the highlight of talking to a lot of growers across a big geography, and I don't even want to start to list off the states, but yeah, I mean, again, just Missouri to Kansas, Nebraska, PNW, Michigan, obviously the Dakotas and every place else, but yeah, it's just, for me, it's getting to talk with the growers, find out how they're doing, how their crops are, what challenges they're facing. And that's been probably, obviously, for me, the most rewarding. And then, we obviously have a booth set up for commercial use. We have our Bosch sprayer there, our new innovation around that, and really the See and Spray type technology. But, it's really bringing solutions to growers and just talking with them, and that's been the enjoyment part of my day.
So when folks are wandering into your booth and wanting to visit and shake hands and ask questions, what question are they asking the most? What's at the top of their mind? And what are you asking them? What's on the top of your mind?
Well, the first thing, of course, you always talk about the weather, right? But not the heat. I think probably the biggest thing, Bridgette, and we've seen it up in the Dakotas and especially North Dakota, but it doesn't seem if it's from Iowa up to Saskatoon, it's just this challenging year with spotty rains, right? It's like I got rain, but my neighbor didn't, or my neighbor got rain and I didn't. And it's just the variability out there with the crops. And, some are good on moisture, some are very dry. And it's just that challenge has probably been the biggest, overriding discussion point. But I've always been a firm believer, big challenges bring big opportunities. And that's really what it is, sitting down and talking about what they have to grow yet, what they can maximize yet, what they can do yet, and obviously what we can impact and what we can help them with on those things. So that's been a lot of the discussion for sure.
So 2 questions for you, Craig. And one is, as you travel your geography, first of all, what does your footprint look like that you cover for BASF? And then secondly, is there a particular crop that's weathering our summer situation better than others?
Yeah, good question. So I cover the eastern half of North Dakota, northern probably third of Minnesota. And, I would say I've worked this area for, better part, I actually kind of had to laugh, probably about 33 years in many different facets. But, as far as a crop that's weathering it, I think everybody's still hopeful on the beans, right? August still makes beans. We know the wheat crop in certain areas certainly got hurt. But like I said, there's other areas that, they got rain and they had some tremendous crops. And talking with some guys over in Michigan, I was shocked to hear, 110, 120 bushel wheat they took off. They were sitting, a couple of brothers were sitting very good on moisture. And Michigan's got a lot of crops. We do. They got dry beans and everything else. So I think everybody's still hopeful for the beans. I think the corn still got good chance out there. A crop that surprised me this year, but if you think about it, we were cool those first couple weeks of July. The canola crop really was made in those 2 cool weeks of July. It flowered.
Yeah, you're right.
It flowered great. We had that 4th of July moisture pretty broad across North Dakota. And, man, I'll tell you what, there's going to be I mean, I don't have canola myself, but there's going to be some good yields out there. There's still a really good price. I mean, almost 30 cents out there. So, you know, there's going to be some canola. There's going to be some good profits on that, and that weathered the storm the best, right? It's still not in, and everything else, and you know, we got some ways to go. But yeah, that crop really helped that first 2 weeks being cool.
And Craig, go ahead, Bridgette.
I was just going to say that really makes it, because our canola growers haven't always been able to factor that in. Their weather has often been against them, so good to hear the positive.
Right. Now last year, Craig, we had a late start, late plant, and it was, you know, pretty darn wet. And how do things look this year compared to, let's say, not only last year, maybe the past, you know, few years? How's everything looking this year in comparison?
You know, I really think for the most part, really good. I mean, you know, we had a lot of snow early up there, and in talking with guys from the Dakotas out to even Montana, it melted, it went straight down, we were dry, and we had good moisture to start off with. And you know, for the most part, crops went in pretty darn well. And, you know, they come up right away, and there again, kind of whether you had rain or didn't have rain, it's kind of like how did it continue and stuff. There's a little variability in the soybeans out there, but in overall, you know, when I think of what we went through in 2021, and in other years when we fought moisture and had preventive plant, and no doubt there's always a little bit of the preventive plant out there, but you know, it looks pretty darn good. I mean, compared to the last, you know, if I think of the last 10 years of how things have went in. So
nice.
And Craig, for you, as you think about what's coming from BASF and so forth, anything you want to really highlight that you're thinking about with your team right now that you want farmers to see and understand the most?
You know, Bridgette, you know, BASF for a while. BASF, we're about innovation, and I still think that's the lifeblood of a company. I think it's the lifeblood of a farmer. If I think of innovation, you know, just think of what we've done on the corn crop here in the last 15 years around genetics. Just think of how the equipment has just advanced, not only high-speed planters, but accuracy of them and the ability to plant multiple crops. And then the other thing I see is just the change has been the prescription type deal that go out there, that these guys are really paying attention to their crops to get the most out of every acre. And that was the tagline for BASF for a while, you know, helping growers get the most out of every acre. And really it's probably changed a little bit now to helping to give the solutions out there for the biggest job on earth, which we all know is farming. But, you know, I really come down to innovation, and whether it's with our products, with our chemistry, what if it's with our seed, but it's just as an industry-wide, just to see that keep advancing at, you know, I would say a record pace, right? I think the doubling factor used to be, I don't know how many years, but it's gotten really down there now. We're really advancing.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. And one of the things we always want to know, Craig, where should people go if they want to contact you or anyone else within BASF for more information?
Boy, you know, you can go to bsf.com. We got a rep finder right there. All of us are on there. You know, my smiling face and phone number's on there. Certainly call me anytime. Call any of my reps. Our tech service are on there. Our business reps, our agronomic solutions advisors, our seed side, which is what I lead up that team. Yeah, that's it. And if you happen to be down here on this nice calm day down here with, you know, that's not really not that warm, I don't think.
It's pretty cold.
Yeah, I mean, compared to Phoenix, yeah. But yeah, we got a great booth out here with a lot of things to show also. But no, that's probably the best way. And certainly our name, number, and emails are all right there. Drop us a line no matter what the question is.
Well, really appreciate you coming out here and visiting with us, Craig. And before we get out of here, we got a quick about 40-second hit on weather and what the rest of the day is going to look like. Dean?
Yeah, well, we're looking at temperatures just a little bit cooler than yesterday, with highs today in the FM area in the low 90s, lighter winds out of the northeast. And as we head into the end of the week, a few more clouds tomorrow, a few scattered showers, even cooler, highs in the low 80s. The weekend looks spectacular. Highs around 80 on Saturday, 83 Sunday, plenty of sun, slight chance of storms on Sunday night, and then the heat comes back as we head into next week. So for Justin, for myself, and for Bridgette, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on Weather and Ag in Focus. If you're down here at Ag PhD in Baltic, stop by and say hi. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next.
AM 970 and FM 93.1, WDAY, Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo.
Good afternoon, I'm Tom Tucker, WDAY News First. Law enforcement officers from around the region turned out Wednesday for the celebration of life for fallen Fargo police officer Jake Willeen. Also on hand, elected leaders, including North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley.
We have laid to rest a warrior. And while I have spoken here of the peace that we pray, I will not sit down without proclaiming the war that we will bring and continue to bring in line with your oaths.
Wrigley again called on the public to be worthy of the service provided and sacrifices made by those who work